The magic number of properties that you're going to show an investor. There is no magic number. It could be 1, it could be 10, it could be 100. The goal is really going to keep it between that 3 to 5 mark. When you're on point and you're listening to what your investors' goals are, they've dialed down to the city that they're looking into, you know exactly what type of floor plan they like. It doesn't take very many showings, especially once you've gone through enough properties yourself. You should be very clear on the inventory in the area. So an investor can explain what they're looking for. You already in the back of your head know exactly what buildings are what. As long as you're maintaining and going into every single property as they come onto the market, you don't have to show your investors every single property. You can, within 2, 3, 4, 5 property showings, put in offers. Very rarely does an alchemist go into more than 5 properties with a client. In fact, typically you're in that deal within 1 to 3 showings. Now, you'll have investors tell you, well, I feel like I need to see more properties. It's up to you to have the confidence to express and describe what each property is on the market, because you should know. You should have already been through them all. There's only a handful of multifamilies on the market at any given time in any given city. If you haven't gone through all of them, make it your point to take that investor to the houses you haven't seen. But then the next investor, you can communicate what that property looks like. The amount of properties you bring somebody through is directly related to your ability to dial in what that investor's looking for. How clearly are they articulating? How clearly are you articulating the questions? How well are you listening to what they're saying? Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We should be using them proportionately. Listen to your clients, ask the right questions. Ask, what are you looking for? What do you want? What are your goals? And then listen, listen, listen. As you're going through each property, your first showing is really a gauge. It's to calibrate, where is this investor, what type of property they're looking for. You're listening and you're asking questions to find out their goals. This way, the next property should be, if not the one, very, very close. So by the second or third property, you've dialed it in. I have done many transactions, and the first time I saw the first property, they put the offer in, they closed. The question that they ask is, well, what if there's another better property out there? You can articulate exactly what each property is and let them know why it isn't a fit for them, if indeed it isn't. If there are multiple properties that are almost identical for their requirements, then you should absolutely, it's your moral ethical duty to get them into those properties. But ultimately, you're going to find that only every investor is different and every property is different. Only a handful will actually fit your investor's qualities, the things that they're looking for, qualifications, the requirements. So make sure that you're paying attention to your investor and make sure you're really listening and make sure you're articulating the right questions so that you can better serve your client. As an alchemist, it's up to you to make sure that the things your clients are saying lead you to putting them into the golden investment opportunity.